Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Um, Today we're just gonna be snacking on some of my favorite chips like Doritos, Cheetos, and Hot Cheetos. I got curious, did you know that the company that owns these chips, Frito-Lays, did you know that they are a stock? You can invest in the Frito-Lay Corporation, right? Let's say, oh well, I want a piece of the action too. I want to be a part owner of the company that makes all the food I'm eating. If I'm eating the food, might as well own the stock, right? And be part owner of it. Well, you can invest in them and you can be part owner of the company, Frito-Lay. Now, Frito-Lay itself is not exactly a stock. They are owned by PepsiCo. Pepsi, obviously the makers of maybe your favorite soda, Pepsi. They're the ones that own Frito-Lay Corporation, which in turn makes the chips that we eat. So, what I wanted to do, I wanted to take a look at the stock of Pepsi and just kind of see how they're doing, possibly see where they could be headed in the next 5 years, 10 years from now, and just kind of see what's going on. So let's dive in. I'm also eating some corn dogs, which are made by this is a State Fair Brands corn dogs owned by Hillshire Brands. Hillshire Brands is owned by Tyson Foods. And I already did a video on Tyson Foods called This Chicken is a Stock. So if you are interested in how you can invest in the corn dogs or Tyson Foods, then I did a video on that already. So, but anyways, just for historical purposes, because I love following up the levels of the stock market, the S&P 500, when the market closed on May 24, was at 5304. The Dow Jones was at 39,069. Gold, what was the price of gold on May 24? Or whenever it's trading, it might be trading here. Gold, $2,355 per ounce. It's near all-time highs. We'll see what that looks like in 5-10 years. But I don't want to get away from the topic of today's video, which is PepsiCo. PepsiCo, $177.99 as of the market close on May 24, 2024. These corn dogs are really good. Tyson Foods, you did good, man, buying this Hillshire Brands. These are really good. They're kind of sweet, but they're not that sweet. Of course, you gotta buy them sideways. You don't want to. I don't want to be sus. How the kids say, sus. Anyways, so what has PepsiCo done year to date? So far this year, they're up 4.8%. That's not a whole lot, right? That's not amazing. Why don't we compare that to the S&P 500? What has the S&P 500 done year to date? Are you going to tell me? You're not going to tell me. Of course not. Of course, it'll only tell me for certain stocks, but it won't tell me for all of them. So we'll look it up on the Yahoo Finance app. So what has the S&P 500 done since January 1st? The S&P 500, the 500 largest United States companies in the United States, has increased 11% this year compared to the paltry return of PepsiCo, 4.8%. So if you would have made a decision on January 1st, should I put my money in Pepsi Company because I like their chips, I like their soda, I like their brands, and I feel good about them? Or should I just diversify my money, put it into the 500 biggest companies in the United States? Then you wouldn't have made as much money putting your money into PepsiCo. You still would have made money though. 4.8% is not bad. And so let's see what they've done over the last 5 years. Pepsi Company, not bad. That chart is moving up. It's trending upwards. So that's pretty good. Let's see what percentage-wise, 36.95% over the last 5 years. So if you would have put your money in Pepsi Company 5 years ago, you would have got in at a price of around $128. You know, today it'd be worth $177. You'd be up 36%, almost 37%. That's not bad, considering some of the bad things that happened during the last 5 years, namely being the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, here where I am circling. Caused the stock to drop. But during the pandemic, people still needed to drink soda. They still wanted to snack on their chips, especially since they were going to be locked up all day anyway. I know I gained like 20, 30 pounds during the pandemic. I'm down most of that now. No thanks to Cheetos. 2022, the recession, the economy started kind of going down a little bit. And so despite all of that stuff that happened over the last 5 years, PepsiCo is still up 36.95%. How does that compare with the stock market? How's the stock market done for the last 5 years? The S&P 500, according to my Yahoo Finance app, over the last 5 years, the stock market gained 87%. So you would still have done better if you were to just spread your money out into the 500 biggest companies in the United States. Now, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's up to you, right? Some people put their money in one company that they really believe in. Sorry, let me open that up. And you can make a lot of wealth like that, right? If you were to put your money all into Google back in the 90s, you'd be a billionaire by now. If you would have put all your money into Amazon, you'd be a millionaire, billionaire by now. Sometimes concentration is good, but, you know, think of all the other, for every Google, for every Amazon that you hear about, there are hundreds or if not thousands of companies that people have put all their money in, and those companies went nowhere. They went bankrupt. We don't hear so much of those, right? We always hear if you would have put your money in Apple, you'd be a millionaire. If you would have put all your money into McDonald's 40 years ago, you'd be a millionaire. But no one ever tells you about, well, if you would have put all your money into, I don't know what stock has gone bankrupt, but if you would have put all your money into Peloton, you'd probably be bankrupt right now because Peloton stock is doing horrible. They're the ones that make the bikes. They make the bike that Carrie Bradshaw's husband died while he was riding the bike on that show, Sex and the City. Don't ask me how I know about that. I'm married, my wife watches that stuff, so I just found out about it. But anyways, he was, his name was Biggs or whatever. He was riding the bike. It was a Peloton, and he fell off it and died. Had a heart attack while he was riding the bike. Caused the stock to fall significantly. That was funny. Peloton was not happy with the way they used their bike on that show. Anyways, where were we? PepsiCo. Pepsi, main competitor is probably Coca-Cola. They pay a dividend, about 3%. It's probably close to what Coca-Cola's paying because investors are like, you know, forget about what soda I like better. I just want to make money. Should I buy Coca-Cola stock? Should I buy Pepsi stock? So they're looking at things like, well, Coca-Cola pays this much dividend. You know, PepsiCo probably faces pressure from that. And they're like, well, we have to offer a dividend too. Let's offer ours at 3%. So that's what they're paying per year. The ex-dividend date, you can still buy the stock and get the dividend that they're going to pay if you buy it before June 7th. If you buy it after June 7th, you won't get the dividend that they'll pay coming up. You'll just get the next dividend after that. Earnings per share, 6.64. For every share of stock, this company makes $6.64. To me, just kind of eyeballing it, that looks really good. That looks like they're making a lot of money. I don't know if I went over the disclaimer, but obviously I'm just a guy eating food on YouTube, and you should never take financial advice from a guy that's eating the food of the stock that he's analyzing. So I would just don't take financial advice from people that are eating food on YouTube. Like, you know better than that. And if you don't know better than that, I'm telling you to know better than that. Personally, I wouldn't put more than 5% of my money into any one stock anyway. I'm a diversification kind of guy. I'd rather buy ETFs or mutual funds. That way you can spread your money out into all the biggest companies, and not necessarily just the 500 biggest companies in the United States, because there's a lot of great companies out there in Europe, Asia, all over the world. But anyways, let me take a bite of this corn dog, and then we'll go into like the risks of PepsiCo. Like, what kind of risks are they facing? Because you would think, you know, like you said, Johnny, earlier, pandemic happened, people still buying Pepsi. We're just creatures of habit. We're addicted to sugar. We're addicted to all this processed food. We're not going to stop eating it no matter what. But, so that's good for the stock, right? That means if you buy the stock, you have a guaranteed return, because these people aren't going to stop eating the food. And that's kind of true, except for the fact that if something happens to the supply of aluminum, aluminum for the cans, if there's a shortage of aluminum, then you're not going to be able to get your soda fixed, right? You're not going to be able to buy your soda. Stores are going to be short. They're going to have a shortage of the cans. I think that actually did happen during the pandemic, if I remember it correctly. There was a shortage of the Coca-Cola in the Sam's Club that I shop at. We couldn't find Coca-Cola, so those are some things that could happen. If something disrupts the aluminum supply or the distribution channel that can get the cans to the bottling companies, something were to disrupt that, then we can't get our Coca-Cola anymore. So that could, potentially hurt the stock. Now, did it hurt the stock? I mean, I guess if you compare the return of Pepsi Company to the overall stock market, maybe it did, or maybe that's just kind of, soda isn't something that's going to grow in price like a lot compared to like Apple stock or Nvidia stock or something like that. Something technology where they can invent. Sorry, I'm burping here. This is a food channel after all. Sorry. So compared to like technology stocks that are inventing new technologies for us to enjoy and to better our way of life and things like that, Pepsi Company isn't going to be inventing anything new, groundbreaking. They just make food that we need to eat. So yeah, if you compare soda to chips, not potato chips, but like computer chips that make AI and things like that, well then, yeah, I mean, that's why PepsiCo is probably only up 37% and not like 1,000% like Nvidia stock is for the year. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I think they are up. They're not up 1,000% for the year, but they're up a lot this year. I could easily just pull up the chart for Nvidia stock, but I'm not going to do that. This is not an Nvidia video. This is not it's not a technology channel. There's not a whole lot of technology involved in this corn dog. This is a good corn dog. But yeah, even with your most safest stock like Pepsi, like, oh well, everybody's gonna drink Pepsi, who's not going to drink Pepsi 5 years from now? Pepsi's going to be around in the next 5 years. Pepsi's probably going to be around in the next 50 years, right? We take that kind of for granted when we invest in companies like this. It's just common sense. No one's going to stop drinking soda. But yeah, if something happens to disrupt the supply, maybe the scientists studying the ingredients in Pepsi find that one of their main ingredients is a leading cause in Alzheimer's or dementia or something, and some top legislator in Congress, had a dad that died of dementia or something, and he drank a lot of Pepsi. Well, suddenly they want to pass laws to ban that ingredient in Pepsi and in Coke, right? And all these different soda companies. That can really screw these companies. So anything can happen. We just kind of take for granted, well, no one's going to stop drinking Coca-Cola, but they can force you to stop drinking it. They already put sugar tax in certain cities across the United States. What's to say that they won't one day just ban the sale of this? Now, I don't think they will, because a lot of these companies, Pepsi, Coke, they have lobbyists, right? People who buddy up with the people in Congress and make them their friends and say, hey, you know what? We'll help you out if you help us out. Don't pass any laws banning these ingredients, and we'll all be friends here. So that's kind of what happens in politics. But all it takes is one bill, one law to pass, and things can happen quick. So bottom line here, Pepsi Company, $177.99 as of May 24, 2024. I'm looking to analyze these stocks. I'll come back to Pepsi in a year, in 5 years, 10 years, just to kind of see where it went. If any of the predictions came true that I was talking about, we'll see. Once again, I'm not making any recommendations for you to buy or sell any of these stocks or any stock that I talk about on my channel. This is a food eating channel, and I'm just a guy that loves eating food and analyzing the stock market. Very fascinating game that we play here day in and day out. So I'm going to continue eating this food off the channel. Amazing corn dogs made by Tyson Brands. Like I said, I already made that video. This chicken is a stock. I didn't know they made the corn dogs, but good for them. Great corn dogs. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.